Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Dr. Shahzad Mustafa. Thank you so much for being here on the Valder Beebe Show live out of Dallas, Texas. How are you guys today?
Good, thank you.
Well,
I want my audience to know that Dr. Shahzad Mustafa, he's the Chief Division of Allergy, Immunology, and Rheumatology of the Rochester Regional Health. Thank you so much, Dr. Mustafa, for doing this because food allergies are really a big thing. Can you explain what a food allergy is and why it's important to talk about and why so many people have them?
yeah, so food allergies, much like other allergic conditions, have unfortunately been increasing for the last 2 decades. I think it's important to note a food allergy is very different than a food intolerance or food sensitivity. An allergy is an immune-mediated reaction that usually happens within minutes of exposure to an allergen, foods like peanuts, tree nuts, milk, eggs, wheat, soy, seafood, seeds. Reactions can be mild, itching, mild rash, or they can range to being life-threatening, something called anaphylaxis. For years, we've managed food allergy with strict avoidance and treatment of accidental exposures with epinephrine. But today I'm here on behalf of Genentech and Novartis to discuss some additional exciting new treatment options.
I'm excited for that. You named all the food categories, but do you guys, and I know you do this, we told my audience, which is made up of baby boomers, people born between 1946 and 1964, and they weighed in and said they're allergic to red dye number 3 and different ingredients in the food. Are you seeing that also too?
So, I mean, certain foods, the ones I listed, are the most common food allergens. It is possible to be certainly allergic to other foods or other exposures, other agents. And I think it's very, very important before we talk about management to get appropriate diagnosis. And I encourage individuals who are concerned about reactions to foods or ingredients to certainly discuss it with their healthcare provider.
With Halloween coming up, that was a real big key for them because they said that candy had certain kind of dyes, and they didn't feel they were allergic to the candy, they were allergic to the dye. So what advice do you have when people are eating Halloween candy or trick-or-treating? How do you prepare for a safer Halloween?
Yeah, so I think individuals with food allergies or adverse reactions to foods have to strictly avoid those foods, closely read labels, and if accidents happen, be prepared to treat an allergic reaction. For IgE-mediated food allergies, these immune-mediated reactions to foods, there are treatment options. Some people may have heard of oral immunotherapy or OIT, and in February 2024, the FDA approved a medicine called Xolair or omalizumab for management of food allergies in children and adults over the age of 1. Xolair blocks IgE, and IgE is your allergic antibody. By blocking IgE, it increases the amount of food it takes to have a reaction. So in the setting of an accidental exposure, where there's a small exposure, it decreases the likelihood of reaction. So it's an exciting advancement in the world of food allergy.
I'm sorry. Before I go to Margaret, I want to ask you, is there like a dictionary that breaks down what the ingredients are? Because, they're kind of cryptic on the labels for us.
Yeah, so typically all food allergens should be listed on ingredient labels. And I think it's very, very important for individuals who are concerned about adverse reactions to foods to closely read labels and avoid things that they potentially cannot tolerate.
Okay, Margaret, if you'll weigh in, if you'll tell us about the diagnosis that impacts your family, because you're probably just as an expert also, too, in food allergies.
In a different way, perhaps. My son was 2 when he was diagnosed with an allergy to peanuts and tree nuts. And at that time, I really didn't have a lot of information. I was not really very well versed in food allergies. And unfortunately, he did consume peanut butter and have an anaphylactic reaction. So I was sort of thrust into this world of food allergies, and since then have been really trying to advocate and educate people around me and my son to the importance of avoiding the foods that are harmful to him.
How do you relate? Okay, your child goes to school every day. You're, watching over him. How does the school watch over him in the cafeteria? And tell me what Halloween is like for you.
Well, from the school perspective, communication is super important, and when he was younger, it was easier to do because, now he's 16 and he's responsible for doing that on his own. From the Halloween perspective, when he was very young, he would trick or treat and he would tell the homeowner that he had a peanut and tree nut allergy. And if they had something that was appropriate for him, he would gladly accept it. And at the end of the day, we would review what was in his bucket, and for every piece of candy that he couldn't enjoy, we would pay him 25 cents. So he would wind up with a couple of bucks by the end of the holiday, and so he didn't feel like he was missing out too much.
Okay. This person weighed in, that'll lead into my next question. They said they've lived with allergies so long, sometimes they think they're normal, and they will forget that, something affects them. So how are you managing Matthew's food allergies? He's had them a long time. How is he doing today?
He's doing beautifully. I think, he really has, it's taken some time for us to have him be comfortable with talking about his food allergy and telling people about it. But we have always normalized it, that there's nothing wrong with him, that this is just part of who he is. And he's not embarrassed about it, and from his perspective, he's 16. He has not forgotten about his food allergy. He's very vigilant about it. I think he, is very protective of himself, and I'm proud of him for that.
Margaret, thank you for sharing your personal journey.
Course.
Dr. Mustafa, how can people with food allergies, what options are available for them?
Yeah, so it starts with strict avoidance and carrying epinephrine. We discussed the option of oral immunotherapy, which may be offered by a board-certified allergist. And then there's the only FDA-approved option for management of food allergy is Xolair, or omalizumab, this medication that blocks your allergic antibody, IgE, and increases the amount of allergen it takes to have a reaction, and it provides risk mitigation from accidental exposures. Like any medication, there is important considerations of risks and benefits. Common side effects with Xolair, discomfort at the injection site, but anaphylaxis has been reported from even Xolair. So it's important to talk about the pros and cons with your healthcare team.
All right, as I wrap up, this will be my final question, Dr. Mustafa, because this is a very interesting topic. Technology is driving medicine to unheard of. There's almost, I'm not going to say an answer for everything, but there's some kind of treatment for everything. Anything new on the horizon for people with food allergy?
So we are working on all sorts of things in the space of food allergy. Better diagnostic testing, because it's incredibly important to have the right diagnosis before you manage the condition. Different treatment options, like we talked about, oral immunotherapy, other forms of immunotherapy, and as of today, the only FDA-approved option for the management of all food allergies in individuals over the age of 1 is Xolair, but there is certainly extensive research being done in other therapeutic options as well.
Anywhere my audience can go online and learn more and be as informed as Margaret is?
Yeah, I encourage individuals with food allergies, or if you know someone with food allergies, to speak to your healthcare provider to bring up these options. See a board-certified allergist, and also you can visit Xolair.com for more information.
Dr. Mustafa and Margaret, you've been a light for a lot of people. Thank you so much for appearing on the Valder Beebe Show. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of the Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.